Welcome back. The goal of this video is to take a look at the sales process in the business model and apply that on Streetchef. With a bit of a twist, the difference here is that Streetchef will not actually have salespeople picking up the phone, making calls to consumers to make a sale, but they will rather focus on the platform making the sale, which puts a bit of a twist on the sales process. So Ntando, from your side, how do you view sales or lead conversion with the model of Streetchef?
So the moment someone enters or engages with our platform, they need to understand what it is that we offer, because as we've mentioned with the 5-second rule, if we can't tell somebody or help them to figure out what we have to offer within 5 seconds, it's most likely that person is going to get off the platform and they're going to go somewhere else where they can better understand what does it offer.
Indeed. So when we think about the concept of sales, people buy emotionally and they justify logically. So emotionally, the big factor at play here is, what does the person need? When they come on Streetchef, what does the person need?
The person needs a healthier home cooked meal.
Healthy home cooked meal. Now that's going to get me emotionally. Logically, people justify logically. Logically, does this make sense? Yes or no? Now that is determined on the price, the value, and the time I'm going to get it. If I enter your platform at 10 o'clock and I want a lunch at 12 o'clock, does it justify logically the time frame I'm going to get my meal in? Pretty much, because if you can deliver it by 12 o'clock, it's a justification. I understand that. I'm happy. If it costs me not more than 100 Rand, I'm going to be like, yeah, it makes logically sense. How do you think that applies on your model with Streetchef?
So as you've mentioned, we'd obviously have to factor in the cost that somebody is going to pay in order to get the food, as well as with the time frame. So how we're looking to position it, obviously the market will inform us in terms of whether we're right or wrong. We're looking at making it a lunch as well as a dinner orientated platform. So for example, people will be able to order between lunchtime as well as dinner time. And there needs to be, since it is a freshly prepared meal by the Streetchef, they will obviously have to order it between a time frame of approximately 2 hours before deliveries go out, to give the chef sufficient time to be able to process and make the orders so that they're ready for when delivery time comes.
Indeed. It's incredible how human behavior plays such a big role when it comes to marketing and sales. 80% of the success of Streetchef will be based on the concept of, can we generate a lead? Can we convert that lead into a sale? And it's all human behavior. Where does the person go when they need a meal? Does it logically make sense for them? Does it appeal to their emotional need? That is really what's important when it comes to business. Lead generation, lead conversion, understanding your target market's human behavior. If I can give you one tip on this whole course, that is it. Right, when we look at the platform now, the platform becomes the salesman. So what you want to do now is say, if Streetchef's the salesman, the platform itself, what will we do to connect to our consumer? What will we do to understand our consumer? Do we get our value proposition through the process? Is there any red tape that's blocking the sale? Just recently we had a conversation with a friend who mentioned that he deleted a takeaway app from his phone because they just accepted a certain type of card. So when you look at removing the red tape, you got to keep that in mind. What's the red tape that's blocking a sale? And then lastly, how can I get my consumer to commit to my platform? So just looking at that, let's start firstly with, how do we connect with the consumer? How would you say, quickly, do you connect?
So we would obviously appeal to what they're looking for. So when they come to our platform, they're not looking for a fast food takeaway. They're looking for something which is home cooked and which would obviously appeal to them from a healthier point of view.
That's how you connect. How do you get that message through that they understand it?
Well, in our communication, our imaging, and everything which speaks to the user, we would have to ensure that they clearly understand it when they come across our platform.
Exactly. This is some good questions. I can see Ntando is thinking on the spot. You got to get your value proposition through on the platform. the focus, the need, and also can you supply, yes or no, right? So that's just in theory, in thought pattern, is our value proposition part of the whole platform and the sale, yes or no? Then red tape. Is there any possible red tape that you can identify in Streetchef that you might have to remove?
I would say our payment processing currently, in terms of our current payment gateway, it is with scale and volume. We might run into a problem because right now it's fairly manual. It doesn't separate the commission from, right now we can manage, but let's say, for example, we have 17,000, then it becomes a problem.
Sure.
Processing payments might take a bit longer. People might get frustrated. Chefs might want to get off. If chefs go off, what if the person's a popular chef with the people that are placing orders? We run into a bit of a problem because if the chef leaves, we lose his audience, and that affects our revenue as well as the platform itself.
Definitely, those are some crucial things that needs to be addressed in Streetchef sooner rather than later, and it can definitely block a sale. Anything that puts your consumer off needs to be addressed critically and ironed out as soon as possible. And then lastly, commitment. Is there anything that you can do from your side to get people, after you've signed them up for the first time, to commit to Streetchef?
I believe we have obviously mentioned we are looking at the discount model, where after X amount of orders you've placed on the platform, you would get a discount on your 5th order, for example. So that's an option we're looking at, which has proven to be effective for other competitors in the market. So if something's working for other people, it doesn't hurt to try it. And another one, we would obviously look at a loyalty-based system, if I can put it that way. So for people who utilize then they would become a committed Streetchef orderer, or they would become a super fan, something like that, to create that aspect of community, which I did mention a bit earlier, that we are not just looking to build a platform where people come onto there and order food, but we also want to build it into something which is more of a community, where people come onto our platform and they feel like they're a part of something.
Excellent. Just an encouragement to all the entrepreneurs out there. When it comes to branding, marketing, sales, you got to remove your emotions from the process. Just because somebody's not paying you doesn't mean it's personal. All right. It could just be that I want to pay, I want to buy your product or service, but something's blocking it, or you're not appealing to what I actually need. All right. There you have it, guys. We will see you in the next video.